Guys, so I want to share with you this video because it's very important that you learn not only from your past mistakes, but also do you learn what you need to implement in order to progress when it comes to building a new gear and or launching your new business. Now, the idea for me here is to give you the lessons that I've learned throughout 2024, of which you can also go and implement. Now, what I want you to keep in mind is that my experience has been based on basically my situation. So probably as I'm sharing this with you, it might be that your situation might be different. Okay, so it might be that you are encountering different situations, different financial difficulties, different health difficulties. Maybe you don't have the opportunities that I have. So you have to consider these things based on your situation and see what can you implement and what are most likely things that you can maybe avoid or not even do by itself. Okay, so what I want to share with you is at the beginning, I also have to reflect. So it's not only about understanding, okay, certain things went bad, I don't want to do it anymore. It's also about reflecting what were the things that you found difficult, what were the things that you spent time on that did not result into the thing that you wanted to, or if you went through the year, what is it that the thing that you did, activity that gave you fulfillment, things that you love, things that came personally for you, or that you had to tackle as a personal challenge, or things that probably gave you momentum. So when you recognize these elements, it's going to help you rinse and repeat the same thing over and over so that you can not only achieve the results that you want to for 2025, but also help avoid the things that you don't need to do. Why? Because the more you focus on what works, the less you're going to make mistakes, or the less you're going to avoid um, the things that are probably going to get you into a routine that you don't want to and help you progress forward instead of being an hindering element within your life. Okay, so I started the post with something which is the Instagram post with something that I've implemented throughout the 2024 year. So it was, if I open the post, you probably can see as well. Let me just click on it, and probably you guys can, if you have a chance, go check out my Instagram. You probably can follow me and follow my progression as well. With this, I can give you an idea. But I went through at the beginning, why was the year in alignment for myself? Because I had a lot of distractions. And those distractions were projects of people, stuff I had to do, people I had to delegate to, etc. But now, I came to realize when I prioritize my own goals instead of other people's agenda or other people's goals, I progress more in my business. I progress more in my life. So I had to refine, I had to realign, I had to come back on track in order for me to do it. Now, if I keep on developing this, I also understood that building a brand is important. And you may have seen a lot of names, popular names out there, but what you came to notice is they have to not only convey the message to people that are like-minded to them, but also they had to build their own style. With this, I also grew my business, of which I started creating products. I started building my audience, posting more on social media, and with that, I also started focusing more on, hey, who I am, my physical, mental health, and my spiritual strength. With this, it gives you more consistency throughout your habits. And if you have consistency throughout your habits, it's going to be more likely later on you're going to succeed. Okay, so I want you to check out the post. It's very important for me. Again, it was a post that I kind of summarized real short into the things that I did throughout the 2004 year. But then again, I'm pretty sure that if you read the lessons as well, it's going to help you give you insight on what you can implement yourself. So when it comes to key lessons in 2024, I want to share with you guys a couple of points. First of all, you need to love the game. If you don't love the game, you're not going to be able to design your life, okay? Because again, the steps you're going to implement, you're going to have to build a habit. And you're going to want to have build a habit on the things that you're good at, the things you're proficient in, and the things you have a passion for. If you don't do that, it's going to be forced labor. You're going to force yourself to do something that you don't like. And potentially, it might be as a solopreneur at the beginning, you might be doing taxes, you might be doing accounting, you might be doing, I don't know, like designs or editing, etc., which you don't like. So for me, the key here was, what is the key thing that I like that I started implementing? And I like designs, I like creating products, and I like a lot about videos and filming. So therefore, I kind of managed to go into that direction to focus more on that. And that helped me align my work with my personal goals. Okay, so which is the key? Because again, as I've shared here, you want to avoid the trap of seeing this as a completion game. Okay, you want to see this as a long-term play instead of, okay, I completed, what's next? Okay, so because once you do that, you're constantly in a cycle of you're never going to be fulfilled. But you want to feel fulfilled, and the only way you feel fulfilled is you're doing it for a bigger purpose. A purpose that's not going to end from one day to another. The second thing is that you want to also solve your personal problems. Every single challenges you encounter within your game, within your business, within your life, is going to be something that is personal to you. If it doesn't align with you, it doesn't show any progression, what you are going to see is that you don't want to do it anymore, and you start becoming depressed, you start feeling down, or you start feeling without any momentum because you don't have a passion for it. You're doing it because you're trying to prove something to someone or so, but it's not really something that fulfills you. So for you to be able to progress, you need to have a bigger purpose, of which later on you're going to be able to solve your own internal problems. Feeling lonely, feeling down, feeling like you're not impressing people, feeling like you don't belong somewhere, etc. If you resolve all those things, you'll feel more happier with not only the stage that you're in or the status that you have, etc., but also within the progression you're doing, even if it's small steps. And then the point number 3, you want to be disciplined with the freedom that you have. Okay, so maintaining discipline is basically strengthening your self-confidence, but also having a critical, bold decision. So if you're committed to doing something, it's going to be help you also be progressing forward in the sense of you're going to have more self-confidence at the things that you're doing. If you don't have self-confidence, you're going to feel lost, and or you're going to feel like, hey, I'm doing it, I'm winging it, but it's not really working out. So instead of you trying to do it, you have to try to focus on how do I master the presentation skills, or how do I master copywriting, or how do you master anything, or creating products, or doing your freelance work, or doing your digital nomad coding work, whatever you're doing. If you try to focus on mastering it, then you will see that it's not a home run, it's more like the entire season. How are you going to project yourself with a positive attitude when you have a season that about the game? It's not so much about the winning. Winning is good, but winning is a byproduct. So focus on the game itself and how you play the game rather than simply trying to go after a trophy. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you the foundational habits of 2025 and what is going to basically be implemented into my business, into my life, so that I can excel to the next level. Now, again, for everyone it's going to be different, and probably for you it's going to be different. So I want you to just take these as key lessons of which you can learn of later on. You can also be able to implement them and also achieve success within your daily routine. So first of all is prioritizing your sleep. Second is focus on your plan, and then also waking up early. Okay, so I'm just gonna run over these very quickly for you. The other one is number 4, which is exercising and supplements, and then 5 is continuous learning. Okay, because it's important for you to do so, and 6 is the deep work. Okay, the needle moving activity. Now, if you look at the first one, sleeping, many people overlook this because they go to parties, they hang out with friends, or you may stay online searching, watching YouTube, or searching for stuff, or you may be just trying to avoid the work and distracting yourself with stuff. But the more you lack sleep, the less energy you have, and the more you will try to avoid doing the things you need to do. And this becomes a vicious cycle of which later on you come in a rut of which you cannot get out of. So for us to prevent ourselves getting into rut, we need to be able to not only implement the things that we do, but try to sleep consistently every day and wake up at a certain time every day. The next was the plan and focus. So if you want to go down the route of achieving your goals, in order for you to be productive, you need to write everything down. Now, I try to tell people at this on a consistent basis, write them down, even if you're not doing anything with what you're writing, just write it down. Because the more you write it, the more you memorize it, and the more you know what's the next step you have to focus on. And that keeps you on track. You're not going to lose track of what you're doing. The next thing of the plan and focus is to avoid overwhelm. By avoiding overwhelm, you only focus on one main key task. That's it. And you do that at the beginning of the day. And the thing that you do that is secondary or third will come at a less priority. For example, in my case, when I have to wake up in the morning, the first thing I focus on is exercise. Because I know if I can exercise, it gets me in a better mood and a better routine for the rest of the day. The second thing that comes to mind for me is then making sure that I publish everything that has to do with social media first. Once I exercise and then publish everything else, Then for the rest of the day, I can focus on client projects, freelancing, building my business, building a product, whatever. Okay, so I try to focus on the main key important task, which is exercise. And for you, this might be different. It might be that you focus only on, I don't know, like your social media. It might be that you're focusing on your client project first, or maybe you're focusing on the spiritual stuff first. It's up to you how you design your schedule. But for me, this is how I'm planning on doing it for 2025. The third thing is waking up early. And with this, you have to make sure that either you work immediately or if you exercise. For me, as I told you already, for for a lot of you guys, probably the work is going to be more important because that's the thing that's going to bring in the money and help you keep on improving and keep on moving forward. But for you guys, might be you're prioritizing something different. So either you're waking up early, going straight to work, or you're waking up early and trying to do something exercise related. You have to make sure they have one of those as priority. That's it. Okay. Now, when it comes to exercise and supplement, you have to combine these two together. It cannot be that you're taking a day or two of straight, consistent work when it comes to your workout, and then taking no rest days. So you're trying to do that consistently, but you're not taking any proteins or supplements. It's gonna basically ruin your physical and mental health, of which then later on you cannot perform anymore. Okay, so this is crucial. Something you want to combine. I had it basically creatine and vitamins in here, but probably you can add something different. And from there, of course, you can also think on, okay, what this will help you with. And for me, doing that, as I said to you, it helps me be in a better state, mentally and physically, of which I implement number 5, which is learning. The more I learn, the better I become at not only understanding myself, my habits, my routines, etc., but it also becomes more easy for me to understand the knowledge behind the things I'm doing, especially when it comes to running a business, especially when it comes to managing clients, especially when it comes to doing marketing. Okay, so I try to focus on learning about marketing, learning about video editing, learning about building products, marketing strategies, etc. And within all these things, you're gonna see that later on, it's gonna be easier for you to be able to not only consult other people on it, but also implement the things that are working. And with this, we come to the number 6, which is the deep work and needle moving task. When we have this, I only focus on 4 hours of the things that I need to build within the business. Because if you try to do something else, it's gonna be basically difficult for you to do. So for you to, in order to move forward, you have to make sure that you dedicate 2, 3, or 4 hours on the specific thing that you need to be building. If you're not able to do that, your life is going to be miserable because you're going to grind a lot, but you're not going to see the results. So for you to see the results, you have to be doing things in phases, and each phase has to have a dedicated time of which you're focusing on it. And this is the thing that's going to give you momentum and perseverance. Because if you focus on this, it's not only give you, again, momentum, but also going to sustain the success you're having, which is the progression you're trying to look for. You're going to avoid the distractions, again, which is I'm trying to explain to you here. And you're also going to plan ahead and prevent interruptions. Anything like parties, hanging out with friends, etc., it's not going to be able to deviate you from your plan or your roadmap towards success. Okay, so that's basically what I wanted to share with you on the stakes. Now, what are the key insights, practices, and personal and professional growth that we can focus on? So I'm going to tell you for myself, the 2025, what are key things going to help me grow my business, also grow my personal brand. Okay, so right now we're going to focus on the key insights and practices for personal and professional growth. So with this, I'm going to give you 10. So we're going to focus on this, and I want you to write them down if you can. Now, if you want to get this entire list, I recommend you just click on the link in the description, and there you're going to be able to not only get the list, but also see the post as well on my Instagram, and probably get my insights on many other topics as well. So first of all, the morning pages for creativity and clarity. Okay, so when you wake up in the morning, writing is the most important things you can do at the beginning of the morning. Okay, because your mind is fresh, you don't have anything like ideas or stuff need to do, etc. So once your mind is clear, you'll be able to focus more clearly on the specific things that you want to articulate, you want to get out of your mind that you have planned throughout the past days. Probably you have things you worked on, projects you want, dreams you have, etc. And you can talk more inspirationally, inspiringly about it. Now, with this in mind, you also are suggested here, which is written for you. You want to vent frustration and insecurities when you're writing, as I said, things that happen throughout the days. You also want to shift focus to solutions, gratitude, and planning, because it's very important for you to be able to focus on the key things that have worked for you, so that you don't feel like depressed and everything is negative, but you stay also positive. And then you want to focus on the third thing, is that you allow space for inspiration and new ideas. So when you understand what went wrong and you understand what went good, that gives you new idea what you can do. Okay, like breakthroughs ideas. So you want to also be able and transparent with yourself that you can implement it like that. And from there, get benefits of clear mental noise. Okay, so you probably have a lot of stuff in mind during the day. So as you wake up in the morning, it's going to be easier for you to articulate exactly what you want without having that mental noise. You'll also be able to self-reflect on things that happen, things that went good or bad, and also you'll be able to generate creative ideas. With this in mind, of course, it's going to help you improve a lot of what the things are that you want to do. Now, the second point would be mindful spending of investments. So ask yourself, you know, whether the things you're purchasing is needed or not. If you want to spend money or not, if you can save money or not, if you can work to get more money or not, if you can expand your mindset regarding money or not, etc. So there's a lot of things you can do. You can buy a lot of stuff, like you can buy the expensive stuff. So I recommend you just spend your money on a couple of things, but the most important things, or the things that are most valuable to you, versus buying a lot of cheap little stuff. Because if you buy a lot of cheap little stuff, you're also going to see that you're consuming and you're spending a lot, but you're not really valuing those things. Now, when you spend your money on a couple of things, they're super expensive, you're going to be able to value them more, of which you're going to see also that people value you more as well, because you can see that you have a good taste in quality products. Okay, so what we want to understand here is the point number 3 is you need financial discipline, because otherwise it's not going to be doable for you to be able to purchase those things. So by having financial discipline, you are also prepared to be able to save for the moments that you will not be able to produce the income, because there will help or you will have ups and downs within your business, and that will help you later on weather the storm when you have those down months, okay, which is totally normal within a business. And of course, you want to be able to have cash in reserve in order for you to handle those months, even if you are promoting, building a brand, running ads, etc. Now, the fourth important thing, you have to maintain a mindset of abundance during tough time, because a lot of people tend to slack or don't give tips or start saying that they're gonna hold the money as much as possible and doing some shady stuff just to keep the money and rip off other people, and you don't want to become that person and you want to avoid that. So I've written here 3 points of which you can keep in mind in order for you to build a proper, I would say, skill when it comes to developing your personal character. Fifth will be setting ambition goals. Okay, so you want to embrace thinking. Now, keep in mind, I'm implementing this based on my own things I've learned and also from people that I've learned within the community. So I'm literally communicating with you what am I going to implement and exactly how I'm going to do it. So with this, you have to think. If you're not able to 10x your thinking, 10x your income, 10x your ability, your performance, etc., can you do it 2x? Can you double your performance? Can you double your thinking? Can you double the things that you're doing? So that the more you do the things that are working, the more results you get. Okay? But as it says here, you have to shift the mindset and the system that aligns with your goal. Because if you're doing one thing and your goals are over here, it's not going to work for you. And once you understand that, you have to be ruthless with your time management. This means you have to protect your time, okay, from as much distraction as possible. As I told you, from myself in 2024, I was a lot distracted with client stuff, people's agenda, people's goals. And later on, when I saw, hey, half the year went by, I'm kind of like lost because I wasn't focusing on my stuff. But at the beginning of the year, I was trying to build a brand, I was trying to build a merch, I was trying to build a business, but I was doing it slow. Why? Because I was so busy with client stuff. So I said to myself, this year is not going to be like that. This year I'm going to focus on my stuff, but I'm also going to be able to manage my time to the point of not being distracted by the client stuff. Meanwhile, focusing more on my personal stuff. 7 will be delegating for scaling. So I'm not gonna be doing video editing. I'm gonna outsource to someone else. I'm not gonna be doing any VA work. I'm gonna outsource to someone else so that I can only focus on the brand side and the product side. So I can build the business more and also grow my brand more. Okay. Now, believing in yourself, this is crucial. This is key. I want you guys to do. I'm gonna help you guys with this more and more because I'm gonna build more content on self-development and fitness, but I'm gonna mix it within the branding stuff and then within the business stuff because those three things are what I like. Okay, so if you want to follow me, give me a follow on Instagram. There you're going to be able to see a lot. If you want to join my YouTube and become a subscriber, you can also do that because you're going to see a lot of content over there as well. But the key here is subscribe to the newsletter because that's where you're going to keep being updated on what's going on behind the scenes and what's working for me. 9 is about taking immediate action. So act on ideas without overthinking so that you can build momentum. Now, don't overthink yourself, just do it. And after you've done it, you're gonna get some data. Okay, after you've done it, after you execute it, you're gonna try to adapt to whether it had worked or not and what you can fix or not. If you cannot do this, it's not gonna be there's not gonna be any results for you. And the key to growing is by essentially focusing on implementation or focusing on execution. So it's essential for you to understand that if you want to grow, you have to understand what's working for other people, and by that you can. If you're not able to attend events, you have to read about them. You have to maybe buy courses, or you have to invest in some type of mastermind, virtual mastermind. Maybe if you cannot be in person. So with this again, these are books or people I recommend you follow. Okay, Julian Cameron, which is very good as well. I got a lot of these idea from many different entrepreneurs online, of which I personally follow. But if you think about it, these are books that you can go and get for yourself because they probably help you not only excel into your work that you're doing, and with this, again, it's going to help you bring forward the skill that you have or the thing that you're most talented at. And this is basically going to help you integrate principles within your life, within your business. That's going to help you build resilience, of which later on build your personal brand and build your professional business. Okay, so again, this is for you guys that are solopreneurs starting out and wanting to build a business and wanting to grow your balance to 100K per month. These are the fundamentals I'm going to work on 2025. If you guys want to join me, subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram, or subscribe to my newsletter, of which later on I'm also going to be giving you insight how I'm going to do this within the product I have, which is Priority Pass. That's going to help you as well implement these in a much more shorter process, okay, which is going to give you a clear roadmap what to do. So see you guys in the next video. Take care.